Right friends, welcome back to question and answer part 2 of 21st week from 18th to 24th May. We are going to discuss 26 questions in this part 2, and let us look at the first question. Indian Air Force Mirage 2000 fighter landed on Yamuna Expressway near Mathura for the first time. This Mirage 2000 fighter aircraft, the pilot is Prashant Arora of Tigers Squadron of Gwalior. For the first time in the country, this Mirage 2000 fighter aircraft landed on Yamuna Expressway. Government wants to nominate certain places for takeoff of these aircrafts because there are news reports that Pakistan and China have already developed this type of facilities for taking off and landing on highways. Because for these types of fighter aircrafts, having facilities at some places across the country on national highways, the government felt that it is necessary in case of emergencies. So, for the first time in the country, piloted by Wing Commander Prashant Arora, Mirage 2000 fighter aircraft landed on Yamuna Expressway near Mathura. Please don't forget. Look into the next issue. Sea trials of retrofitted INS Sindhukirti was started recently from Hindustan Shipyard Limited in Visakhapatnam. This what is meant by retrofitting? Retrofitting is nothing but improving the facilities of existing equipment. Here INS Sindhukirti is a submarine. Improving the facilities because this was manufactured in the year 1990, originally built by Russia. Those facilities are now not sufficient. It was put into service on January 4, 1990. Those facilities are not sufficient. Now additional facilities are being given. Additional equipment is being enclosed with this. The meaning of retrofitting is that. And this retrofitting is done for this INS Sindhukirti in Hindustan Shipyard Limited in Visakhapatnam. This was originally built by Russia. INS Sindhukirti series was built by Russia. Please don't forget. Look into the next one. Retired tennis star Bob Hewitt was sentenced to 6 years in prison for sexual assault. Recently, Bob Hewitt, Australian born but settled in South Africa by marrying a girl from South Africa. Recently on sexual assault charges, he was sentenced to 6 years of imprisonment by South Africa. Right, Bob Hewitt is the famous tennis star. Look into the next one. J. Jayalalitha became the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu for the 5th time. Having acquitted of disproportionate assets charges by the Karnataka High Court, she took the reins of Tamil Nadu for the 5th time. Immediately she sanctioned several welfare measures, including opening of around 200 Amma canteens, where food is being supplied at highly subsidized prices. Right? Look into the next one. Japan unveiled a plan to provide 110 billion for Asian infrastructure projects during the next 5 years. When I talk about World Bank, it is dominated by United States of America. When I talk about Asian Development Bank, it is dominated by Japan. These two, United States of America and Japan, have not joined as the founding members for Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, which is going to be started by China. AIIB, Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, is going to be started by China. 57 countries, including several European countries, signed to become founding members, but Japan as well as United States of America have not joined AIIB, and now Japan said that there is a plan to provide $110 billion for Asian infrastructure projects during the next 5 years. Right friends, look into the next one. Giant Wild Goose Pagoda. Pagoda is the religious center for Buddhists. Recently, the Prime Minister visited the Giant Wild Goose Pagoda in Xi'an province of China, and Giant Wild Goose Pagoda, which the Prime Minister has recently visited, was originally constructed in 7th century AD. It was constructed in the year 652 by the Tang dynasty. It was constructed in the year 652 by the Tang dynasty, and Huansong, after visit to India, by taking various scriptures of Buddhism from India, arrived in Xi'an province, and this Giant Wild Goose Pagoda is associated with the Chinese traveler Huansong, who visited and spent in India several years to study Buddhist sculptures. Right friends, look into the next one. Terracotta warriors and horses, which were excavated in 20th century, were kept in Terracotta Warriors Museum in Xi'an province. Terracotta Warriors Museum. Recently, the Prime Minister visited in Xi'an province. These sculptures of terracotta warriors and horses belong to 3rd century BC. These terracotta warriors sculptures made of certain type of clay, that is terracotta, belong to 3rd century BC, and they are associated with the first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang. Qin Shi Huang was the first emperor of China, and these terracotta warriors representing armies and chariots belong to 3rd century BC, and they are associated with the first emperor of China. Right? Look into the next one. Name the High Court which stated, being a Maoist is not a crime. The Kerala High Court recently stated that being a Maoist is not a crime unless his actions justifies against the law of the land. If he do something against the law of the land, then only you can take up. But being a mere Maoist is not a crime. The single judge bench of Kerala High Court gave the said verdict, and Kerala government is planning to file an appeal against the verdict given by the single judge bench of Kerala High Court. Right friends, SpaceX cargo ship, which carries supplies to International Space Station, belongs to United States of America. NASA gave a contract to SpaceX cargo ship at $1.6 billion to carry cargo to the persons in International Space Station. At present, there are 6 persons in International Space Station. This SpaceX cargo ship is supposed to carry the required inputs, is supposed to carry the required cargo to the International Space Station, and please don't forget, this SpaceX cargo ship belongs to United States of America. Look into the next one. Name the state where a 9-seater amphibian seaplane landed in waters, making it the second state after Maharashtra. What is the meaning of amphibian seaplane? What is meant by amphibian? The species which lives both in water as well as on land is called amphibian species. The species which can live not only in waters but also on land is categorized as amphibian. And now the plane which can land not only on land but also on water is classified as amphibian seaplane. The plane which can land not only on the land as well as on waters is classified as amphibian seaplane, and this is used for tourism purposes. Maharashtra is the first state to have this landing of amphibian seaplane on waters, and now Goa became the second state for amphibian seaplane to land on the waters. Recently, an experiment was conducted. 9-seater amphibian plane was landed on the waters of Mandavi river in Goa, and they are going to start this type of operations on commercial scale for tourist purpose. So please don't forget, Goa is the second state to have launched or experimented this amphibian seaplane. Right friends, look into the next one. Name the country where a suicide bomb blast in Shiite mosque killed at least 21 people. Unfortunate incident occurred in the eastern part of Saudi Arabia on Shiite mosque, and Saudi Arabia is a predominantly Sunni dominated country, and this incident occurred in eastern part where this Shiite population lives, and Islamic State claimed responsibility for this attack. Right friends, look into the next one. Who is the National Security Advisor of India? National Security Advisor. He is the Chief Executive of National Security Council, who looks into the security on domestic front as well as the international front, and National Security Advisor reports to the Prime Minister directly, and he is Ajit Doval. National Security Advisor, the post was created in the year 1999 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the Prime Minister, and Brajesh Mishra was the first one to occupy this post, and at present Ajit Doval is the National Security Advisor, key post in the Prime Minister's office, reporting directly to the Prime Minister. Right friends, look into the next one. G. Mohan Kumar appointed new Defence Secretary. G. Mohan Kumar was appointed new Defence Secretary for a 2-year term. Normally these secretaries are appointed for a term of 2 years, and he replaces R.K. Madhur, who completed 2 years of his tenure. Please don't forget, G. Mohan Kumar is the new Defence Secretary. Look into the next question. Name the country which banned undesirable foreign organizations from operating in the country. The foreign organizations or otherwise non-governmental organizations or NGOs who are operating in their country with funds from foreign countries. Recently, Russia banned the undesirable foreign NGOs. The meaning of undesirable is not clear, so it casts a shadow on the operations of non-governmental organizations in Russia. Russia is nowadays very much worried. Its space explorations, failure of 2 space explorations in succession. Second thing is its economy contracted by 1.9% in the previous quarter because of Western sanctions due to the annexation of Crimea by Russia. It is predominantly oil dominated exports. Russia has got oil dominated exports, but because of the fall in oil prices, it is also facing problems on the foreign exchange front. Because of all these things, it is very much worried nowadays. That's why recently it banned undesirable organizations operating in their land. Right friends, look into the next one. China is planning East-West railway line. Now it is the turn of South America for China. South America, you all well aware, Brazil is the largest country in South America, and China is now planning East-West railway line across South America. The line will stretch for 5,300 kilometers from Pacific Ocean towards Peru side, that means the Pacific coast towards Peru side, up to Atlantic coast towards Brazil. From Pacific coast towards Peru to the Atlantic coast towards Brazil, it crosses these two countries 5,300 kilometers length, and it cuts across Amazon rainforest. That is the main worry for environmentalists. Preliminary discussions are going on. 5,300 kilometers railway line from west to east. $10 billion is the expected expenditure, and discussions are going on to fine tune further. Right friends, look into the next one. ArcelorMittal, steel giant in the world, has recently signed a memorandum of understanding with the SAIL means Steel Authority of India Limited, to set up an automotive steel manufacturing facility through a joint venture in India. ArcelorMittal as well as the Steel Authority of India Limited joined together and formed joint venture to establish automotive steel manufacturing. Automotive steel manufacturing. What is the meaning of automotive steel manufacturing? Automotive steel manufacturing is used in automobile industry. Indian automobile industry is expected to grow on faster pace, and ArcelorMittal and SAIL will establish a joint venture of manufacturing automotive steel manufacturing facility in the country. C.S. Verma of SAIL and Lakshmi Mittal of ArcelorMittal recently signed. Right? Look into the next one. Coal India Limited set a target of 1 billion tons output by 2019-20, a magnanimous task ahead for Coal India Limited. At present, their production is hardly around 500 million tons. They want to increase the production to 1000 million tons by 2019-20 within less than 5 years. They want to achieve the target of 1000 million tons or 1 billion tons from the existing 500 million tons. I am quoting rough figures. The existing production is around 500 million tons, and they are planning to reach 1 billion tons. And for this purpose, they are going to spend $20 billion during the next 5 years, as stated by the coal minister. They are going to spend $20 billion during the next 5 years to achieve the target of 1 billion tons by 2019-20. Look into the next one. 6.8 magnitude earthquake on Richter scale has struck Solomon Islands recently, which is also on Ring of Fire. What is the Ring of Fire? You can see in this picture, Ring of Fire is nothing but a horseshoe shaped border of Pacific Ocean. Horseshoe shaped border of Pacific Ocean. All these small islands, Vanuatu, Solomon Islands, then Indonesia, then Japan, then Peru, Chile, all these are situated west coast of United States of America. All these places are situated on Ring of Fire. It is the area where most of the world's earthquakes as well as most of the volcanic activity in the world takes place. This is the zone where maximum number of earthquakes as well as volcanic activity takes place, and this is called a Ring of Fire. This is around the border of Pacific Ocean. This is called Ring of Fire. Recently, Solomon Islands 6.8 measured earthquake occurred in Solomon Islands. Right, Solomon Islands or in the Oceania region near Australia or near Papua New Guinea. Right, friends, look into the next one. To analyze and to act as a repository of information, RBI is going to start a central fraud registry soon. Reserve Bank of India will come up with central fraud registry. They are going to start central fraud registry so that it will be useful to the lenders, it will be useful to the banks, as nowadays lot of bad loans are occurring and banking system has got more than 10% of stressed assets, under these circumstances, starting a central fraud registry by Reserve Bank of India has assumed significance, because that will maintain the defaulters list so that banks can access the information as and when they require. Friends, look into the next one. Name the state which is going to engage 2,500 marshals to ensure safety in city buses. In city buses, Delhi government is planning to engage marshals, 3 to 4 persons in one group, and 2,500 marshals are going to be engaged. They will be taken from home guards as well as civil defense, and Delhi government took the decision of engaging these marshals in city buses so as to prevent crime against women. Crime against women is one of the biggest problems in National Capital Territory. Please look into the next one. 7th Pay Commission recommendations are supposed to be implemented from 1st January 2016. Pay and allowances for central government employees are revised once in 10 years, and the 7th Pay Commission is yet to give their report, and the 7th Pay Commission recommendations are going to be implemented from 1st January 2016, and the 6th Pay Commission recommendations were implemented from 1st January 2006. So, after 10 years, so from 1st January 2016, this 7th Pay Commission recommendations are going to be implemented. Pay Commission recommends to the government with regard to the allowances and wages of central government employees, and at present Government of India has got around 50 lakh employees and around 30 lakh pensioners. 50 lakh employees, 30 lakh pensioners, these are the rough figures, and the wages of government employees are fixed once in 10 years, but dearness allowance for the employees, dearness relief for retired employees, dearness allowance for employees, dearness relief for retired employees will be reviewed once in 6 months. Pay fixation will be done once in 10 years based on the Pay Commission recommendations, and every 6 months they will have revision in dearness allowance if they are employees and dearness relief if they are retired people, and this dearness allowance will be revised once in 6 months based on CPI IW. CPI IW means based on the index of Consumer Price Index for industrial workers. Consumer Price Index for industrial workers, based on that index, the dearness allowance or dearness relief are revised once in 6 months, but the pay fixation is done once in 10 years. Right friends, look into the next one. SBI has tied up with the digital payments company PayPal to facilitate cross-border trade and payments. PayPal is the digital payments company of United States of America. SBI recently tied up with the PayPal to facilitate cross-border trade and payments, because nowadays cross-border trade or cross-border payments are increasing because of migration to other countries. So, SBI tied up with the PayPal, the digital payments company of United States of America. Look into the next one. As per the TROI regulations, broadband is the data connection with a minimum speed of 512 kbps. When someone says broadband, it is the data connection with the minimum speed of 512 kbps. Right? Look into the next one. Name the country where elections were held to elect its parliament. It is Ethiopia, the second most populous country in Africa after Nigeria. The second most populous country went to polls to elect its parliament recently, and results are yet to be out. Right? Please don't forget, the capital of Ethiopia is Addis Ababa, and the currency is the birr. Right friends, look into the next one. Name the river whose water level raised by 200 meters due to the landslides subsequent to the massive earthquake in Nepal. Subsequent to the earthquake, there are several stress changes. It is predominantly mountainous region. Landslides are taking place recently because of one landslide in Kali Gandaki river. In Kali Gandaki river, the water level raised by 200 meters, and in the downstream, state of Bihar was also alerted because there is every possibility of flash floods because water is impounded up to a height of 200 meters because this river passes through Bihar to merge with Ganges river near Hajipur in Bihar. Right, look into the last question of this part 2 or last question of this week. 18-member panel set up by SEBI to advise on alternative investments and the startup ecosystem in the country is headed by N.R. Narayana Murthy, one of the founders of Infosys. Recently, Securities and Exchange Board of India constituted a committee, 18-member committee headed by N.R. Narayana Murthy, basically to look into alternative investments and the startup ecosystem in the country to facilitate more number of startups in the country. The startup ecosystem in the country is not evolved like Western countries because several startups come up in United States of America, but in India the atmosphere is not conducive because getting loan from financial institution or getting the private equity or getting the venture capital is not that easy in our country. So as to facilitate startup ecosystem, N.R. Narayana Murthy committee was recently constituted by Securities and Exchange Board of India. Friends, with this we came to the end of this part. Have a nice day. Thank you.